Hello there, it's Peter from Metropix. We're going to show you how to draw a floor plan on the system. So let's start. We'll dip into our account. This one works exactly the same as your own. It's just one we use for training purposes. Whenever you log in, it brings you to your My Plans page, and you can navigate around various sections. If you want to look for older plans, you can click Search for More there. By default, it'll always show you your completed plans, but there's a section underneath to show any unfinished plans, and I'll show you as we draw it where you can save those ones there. So we're going to draw a brand new floor plan. So we'll click New Floor Plan at the top left there. And step one will ask us how we want to create the floor plan. It asks us, step one will ask us how to enter the address of the property. So to make anything better to it, I'll just make one up. When you put the address there, I would suggest you put the full address including the postcode. I'll explain why on the next page. It's not critical, but it's very helpful. But put the address there, whatever that might be, and then click next. And step two will ask us how we want to create the floor plan. Now we've got three options. Firstly, draw online now, starting with a blank page. We're going to click that in a second or two and draw one from scratch, but I'll draw your attention to a couple of other options. This is really important. This is unique to Metropix and it's a real time saver. It's what we call Plan Bank. Basically, Metropix have been going since 2005, and in that time, thousands of customers have drawn literally millions of floor plans. We're over 13 million now. And so it might just be this, although this is a hypothetical address, the system's still done a search on the system. And basically, this 1 Aylesbury Road could have been on the market in the dim and distant past, and perhaps the agent that marketed the property could have used Metropix to create the floor plan, in which case we'll have one already on our system for that particular property. So Plan Bank's a real time save, and you can see down here at the top left we've got one that is an exact match, 1 Aylesbury Road, drawn this year. But we can go back, we got one number 9 back in 2010. So logically we'd click on Aylesbury Road number 1. There's even one back there for 2007, you can see. But we click on the link and that takes us straight into the floor plan. So instead of sort of drawing a floor plan quickly, you can draw it almost instantly. It takes you into the editing page just so you can update it and amend it as you need to. Obviously, it's the other agent that's drawn them, but 99 times out of 100, they're absolutely perfect. It might be that one wasn't there, but you might see number 9 and think, well, actually, that's a similar layout. Or even if it's a mirror image, you could still work with it. I'll explain why as well. So you can click on anything else and use it as a template as well. So Plan Bank can be a real time saver. And obviously with 13 million plans, it's growing every day and becoming even more valuable. Third option is to use Auto Draw. That's where we draw the floor plan for you. That's from a sketch that you send us. It is an additional charge. So only click that if you're authorized or you're happy to pay the extra. So they're the three options: draw it yourself, already drawn by another agent on our system, or we will draw it for you for an additional charge. So we're going to draw it ourselves. So I'm going to click Start Drawing Now, and we'll go into the editing page we call Plan Maker. We'll just wait for that to load up for a second. And here we go. So this is the page that greets us. You can see instantly at the top it says ground floor. So we're working on the ground floor of this property. Don't worry if it's like a first or second floor flat, because you can dip into the floors tab on the left hand side there and rename the floor. We've got a grid of graph paper. Now, when you go to the property, you'll measure up in your preference, whether it's feet and inches or metric, and you can do the same when you're doing the floor plan. Simply click on the settings tab at the top right there, the cog wheel, and it gives us the option to work with imperial or metric. If we switch to metric, it just means we can draw the floor plan. You see the floor area calculations there are in square meters. Another way to switch between the two, if you don't want to go through the settings tab, is simply to click on the floor area calculation here. If I click that now, you'll see it's changed to square feet. So very quickly you can work in whatever you prefer. And at the end of the day, the system will provide the floor plan with measurements in both. So as I say, you can work with what you're happy with. I mentioned about Plan Bank taking a property, opening up one that could be a neighbouring property in a mirror image. Well, this is where you can sort of work with the floor plan, and we've got the option to flip horizontally, left to right. So that's where you would flip your floor plan and make it workable if it was a neighbouring property. We've got, I showed you at the start, when we complete the floor plans, it shows the 20 most recent completed plans, but also unfinished. And if we click this little disk box here as we draw in the floor plan, it will save an unfinished version, and the tick box is to complete the floor plan at the end. We've got a compass rose in the top right as well. So if you want to put a north arrow or a compass rose or direction arrow onto your floor plan, simply click on that and that's activated. If you click on it inadvertently, click it again and it just disables it. But if we click on this, we can just drag and drop, just left click and hold and drag the compass round so that your north arrow points to the way you wish it to be. So if it's 7 o'clock, somewhere like so. Anyway, let's start drawing the floor plan. We've got various sections here under add, floor, stairs and more symbols. Add gives us the option to add rooms and add detail to our floor plan. So we'll start off with adding a room. Now, we create the floor plan room by room. We get one room to the right shape and size, add another room. So we tend to sort of work diagonally across the floor plan room by room. So we'll start at the front. Let's draw a little 2-bed Victorian mid-terrace, bay-fronted upstairs bathroom. We all know the layout of those. So we'll click on add room and you can see that's activated now. Something's happening. And now when I put the mouse over the graph paper, I've got a little red dot. Now just line this dot up anywhere on the graph paper. It doesn't have to fit perfectly within the grid, just anywhere will do. And then just left click and hold and drag your mouse down and to the right. And we're creating a room. You can see the measurements increasing as we go. Now you can try and get this to exactly right first time, but it's unlikely you will. But if you release the mouse, as soon as you release the mouse, we can name it. So we can sort of give the room a title. We've got various room types down the right hand side here, from hallway, reception and kitchen down through garage and outbuilding. Just choose the type of room that it's going to be. So we're being allowed, it's going to be a reception type room. And when I click reception, there's a submenu opens up with all the different reception type room names. Now choose what you want from the list. If it's not there, you can type it in manually. Metropix, sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong one. Choose what you want manually. We've got users all over the world that use Metropix, so they'll just type in their own language. But if it's not there, something like a snug, you might want to type in manually into the room name box at the top there. You might have a small lobby in the middle of a house, door in, door out. You think there's no point naming it, in which case don't. Just give it no name. For this one, we'll call it lounge. That's what we said it would be. So reception type room, choose lounge from the list. That's in the box there. And we can just click OK, and that closes the box down. Now, as I said, we try and draw the room exactly to the right size. You can't always do that perfectly. So once the room's drawn, you can hover your mouse over any wall and just left click and hold. You can see the measurements increasing in that room as we drag it out. So just get it to the right size. And you can do the same with the depth as well, 14'10" by 13'9". That's fine. I would say don't get obsessed that the floor plan's got to be perfect. You'll get the first few rooms drawn to the inch, but after a while, you may find you can't draw the floor plan absolutely perfectly. Don't worry about that. Just draw it as close as you can. I've known properties where there's 2 rooms side by side. They should be the same measurement, but they differ with plaster finishes. So just draw it as accurate as you can, but don't get obsessed. It's got to be to the inch, because it's not a failing of Metropix, you just can't do it. So we're going to add another room now. We'll put a hallway down the left-hand side. So we'll click add room. That's activated, as you can see. Little red dot. Just move this to the corner of the new room, which starts there. Then left click and hold and simply drag this across to the other side. And as we drag it out, we can increase the depth to the right size. Release the mouse and we can name it. So this will be a hallway type one. You'll get used to these really quickly. And again, just choose what you want. Entrance hall. Hall works for me. So hall, and click OK. So there's our second room created. We're going to pop a dining room behind here and a kitchen behind that. So if you need more space, just put your mouse on the graph paper, left click and hold, and drag the plan around as you need to, just to reposition it to give yourself more room to work in. Now we can click add and room, little red dot, left click and hold, and simply drag that to the opposite diagonal corner like so. Release the mouse, reception type room, and this is our dining room. Dead easy, isn't it? Now you can click OK here. Also, if you want to, you can just click on the graph paper. Just click off of this room properties box, and that will close it down as well. So this could be a through hallway front to back. So walking through to the kitchen with the stairs on the left, walk between the stairs and dining room to get through to the kitchen. So we can drag this wall up. You'll see they snap together as they join up as well, and drag that to the end. Drag the plan down the page. I'm just left click and hold and dragging the mouse. Click add room, little red dot, then left click and hold, drag to the opposite corner like so, and this will be our kitchen. And kitchen defaults into the room name at the top, so that's really good, and click OK. Now, sometimes you'll have rooms within rooms. We might have a cupboard in the corner of a room, or an ensuite in a master bedroom. So let's imagine we've got a little cupboard at the end of the hallway, little cupboard at the top left there, just a door in from the kitchen, little understairs cupboard. I've always thought it's important to show cupboards and storage on the floor plan, so we'll still create it as a room, left click and hold, 3 footish will do, that's fine. Release the mouse, and we've got a storage type option. As I say, you'll get used to these really quickly, and we can choose cupboard from the list. Room type, room name, and again, either click OK or click on the graph paper. So we're taking shape. Now, not all rooms are going to be nice and rectangular or square. Let's imagine this kitchen's L-shaped first of all, so we need to make this into an L-shaped room. We know at the moment if I drag this wall, the whole lot moves, which is no good. So let's just click undo and go back a step. I need to set a little marker on this wall at the point where the wall breaks, and it's dead easy. All you do is just click on the wall, and this opens up a box with properties for the external wall. And you can see we've got the top option is to split the wall. So I'm going to choose that, split the wall, and it's put a little white marker on the wall exactly where I clicked. So we click OK. And now, of course, only those sections either side are going to highlight red. So that was just clicking on a wall and choosing the option to split it. And now I can drag that wall either downwards or upwards. We could perhaps make it a 3-foot recess and tidy up the width like so. So that's how to make an L-shaped room. So knowing that, if we're going to make a bay window perhaps on the front of the lounge, we're going to need to set a marker on both sides of the bay. So we'll click on the wall here and split the wall. Okay, click on this side, split the wall. So we've got our two little markers now. Just put your mouse between them, left click and hold, and drag them out. So we can make this a 2-foot bay like so. And that's a square bay, fantastic. Sometimes they'll come in at angles. You have an angled bay, don't you? So rather than dragging the wall out, just drag the dot in the corner, left click and hold, and drag that in. 2'7" on that angle, just so it's visually correct. We won't have measured this at the property, but there we go, 2'7" on both angles. We know it's symmetrical. So that's the layout drawn. Now, sometimes you want to sort of change the wall thicknesses. You might take on an old stone cottage or an old cob cottage where it's got thick external walls. So we can work with the walls. Let's look at the external ones first of all. If we click on any wall, you can see we've got the option to the wall thickness. It's by default 7 inches, but we can click on this plus arrow, and can you see the wall on the right hand side of the dining room increasing every time I click this? So we're up to sort of 1'3", 1'4", 1'6". So we can increase that wall as much as we need to. We might want to apply that to all of the external walls. So we'll click apply to wall, and it's done it like so. Okay, so we can click off of the box to close that down, and perhaps do the same with the internal walls, and we can increase those in the same way and apply to all if we need to. We'll just go back to the default thickness. We don't need the thick walls on this particular plan. And if we want to remove those, we can just click on one wall, go to default thickness, and then apply to all. So that just comes out, but you have got complete control over the wall sizes. So we're ready to put some detail onto our floor plan. And when we're drawing a floor plan, you've seen the floor area increasing at the top there. So 723 square feet. That's a bang on calculation, and it keeps pace in real time as you create your floor plan. So we're going to put some detail onto our floor plan. We've got a bank of symbols on the left-hand side with our doors and windows and sinks and hobs and all sorts going down to a fireplace and various arrows. These should cover you for most of the floor plans that you do, but occasionally, and depending on the level of detail you want to go to, you might want more symbols. So we click on the More Symbols tab, and it breaks it down by category. And if we click on kitchen, for argument's sake, there's every kitchen-related symbol: double bowls, double drainers, boiler symbols, American fridges, bar stools, all sorts, fancy sinks. So you're never stuck for symbols. And as I say, we've got all these categories. We can come back by tabbing left on there if we need to go to a different section, or we can come out completely and come back to our add section. So we'll put a simple plain front door onto the bottom of the hallway at the entrance hall there that I'm highlighting red. And all we do, just choose the symbol that you want, simply left click and hold, and drag it onto your floor plan. And that's it. Left click and hold and drag your door onto your floor. Oh, goodness me, that was my fault. In my haste and trying to be clever, I've gone too fast. So just make sure it snaps the wall before you release the mouse. So we can pop a couple more doors on there as well. And we'll just put a back door on at the rear door, and we can put some windows on the front of the bay. Now, this is great, but not all doors are going to be perfect. And if I put a window on the front of the bay, it's probably going to be too small as well. So we need to work with some of these symbols. So with a door, if you wanted to say swap the hinge side, perhaps these hinges should be on the opposite sides, just simply click on the symbol. That's all you do, and it's opened up a properties box for this door. Okay, we can change the size. I think only 2'6" seems to it's what looks visually correct. If I think we start increasing to 3 foot, they sometimes look a bit too big, but 2'6" looks about right. But underneath, we've got the option to swap the hinge side and swap the opening side. So if I click hinge side, you can see the doors flip the right way. We can close the box. Do the same with this door. Click on the hinge side and close the box. So if we wanted to do both, we can click on this door, hinge side, and swing direction. So there we go. This window is too small, so I can click on the window, and yeah, we can increase the window inch by inch, but that's a bit tedious. We've got these little grey handles on the corner of the symbol. Just left click and hold and drag that across, and that will fill up the wall with the window. Okay. And finally, I think if we look at these symbols, we've got a fireplace symbol down here. We can pop that onto the floor plan as well. A fireplace has got width and depth, so if we click on the symbol, we can use this grey handle to increase it as long, short, narrow, thin as we need to. And that looks about right for a fireplace to me. Again, you won't have measured this at the property. It's just something when you're doing your sketch, you'll spend a couple of extra seconds just to get it visually correct. Okay, you can't go measuring everything when we're sketching at the property. Now, there is a shortcut. There is a way to copy symbols and clone them. So we've got a fireplace here that's the right size. Perhaps there's one that matches in the dining room. So we've got one here we can already use. It's what we call control and drag. In the bottom left of your keyboard, you'll see a control button, CTRL. I'm holding that down now, keeping it held down. So holding the control button down, and now drag the fireplace, and it doesn't move it just makes an exact copy. So it's a handy little tip to use, that one. It really speeds things up. You might have a window in the back of the dining room, but once you've got it to the right size, you can press the control button down and just drag it across, and it really speeds things up. So I don't know what level of detail you'll go to. I tended to keep my floor plans fairly basic. The base units, we can just extend down these walls like so, and we can pop a window and perhaps a hob on there. And I think in terms of detail, that's sort of the level I would go to. You may decide to put furniture in there. There's lots of options, but that's probably as far as I would go. Final thing to do on this floor is to add some stairs. And we've got a stairs symbol on the bottom left there. If we click on this, we've got various symbols, various types of stairs that you can drag onto your floor plan, okay, down to a spiral staircase at the bottom. So we can put a straight flight of stairs here, and they would work. They look fine. We can click on those. We can make them as wide or as narrow or as long as short as we need to. But they would sort of do the job. I think with something like that, I might go for a slightly different set. So to delete a symbol, click on them and just choose the option to delete. That's with any symbol. We've got these ones, cut off stairs, and these cut off the stairs, they go over another room. Okay, so we just line these ones up on the left-hand side of the hallway like so. You can see just as they go up over that cupboard, it cuts them off at an angle. Again, we can click on these and just drag these, move these down the plan a little bit further like so. Let's get those 3'1", that's fine, that looks about the right size. And I think we're done. Final option that we've got, sometimes if you want to remove a wall, you can click on the wall. I touched on this wall properties box before. By default, the wall style is solid, okay? But we do have options where you can make that to a dashed wall, like so. So if there's perhaps a proposed extension, or for whatever reason you want a dashed wall, that's where you would choose it. Or you can remove a wall completely. So that's removed that wall completely. So if they've made this into a through room, you could perhaps use that option. The other way to do it, perhaps, was to put this back to a solid wall, and okay. The other way, perhaps if there are brick piers at each side that supported the RSJ, you wouldn't want to remove the whole wall. So we can go back to our symbols, and we've got an opening symbol that we can just drag onto our floor plan. And this just puts a break in the wall. It could be an opening symbol on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, or we can just line it up there and click on the symbol, and perhaps take out this section of wall in the middle. You sort of get the idea, like so. Okay. So that's it. I think the only other thing I would probably put on the floor plan is an up arrow at the bottom of the stairs. It's pretty obvious where they are, but that you can do. And we can also put an arrow to say where the main front door is, like so. And there's our ground floor drawn. That's all we need here. We're now ready to start the first floor. And so I'm going to click on the floors tab. Remember at the start I said if it was a first or a second floor flat, you could rename it. This is where you would do it. We've got ground floor flat. We can just click on edit and we can rename that floor. But we don't want to do that. We want to add a first floor. So we'll just click to add a floor above. Okay, that top option. And you can see now we've gone to the first floor, and we've got the pastel outline of the floor below in blue. Now, when we draw the first floor rooms, we work to the same footprint as the floor below. You'll see the room sort of snap into place with the other floor. And for this reason, as I say, you might, well, let's make a bedroom one at the top there. We can pop the bedroom one here. And it's for this reason that with plaster finish and things, it might differ slightly. So the rooms may not tally, but it's more important that we draw these rooms to the same footprint than worry about the measurements. I'll explain why at the end. This could be, say, 19'2" by 13'9", but don't worry about it. It's just snapped into the footprint of the floor below. You'll see if we add bedroom 2, the way it works. I drag this room out and it just jumps into place at the last minute. So it makes it really easy. And bedroom, and choose bedroom 2. And you'll see the same will apply if we put the landing down here as well. It all just snaps into place with the grid below. Hallway, and we can choose landing for this room. Okay, let's just pop a bathroom on the back quickly, and again you'll see it just jumps into place. So it really is very simple. Remember to click on the walls using the footprint of the floor below. We can click on the wall and line it up there and split it, and then we can just drag this section of wall out like so. So we're taking shape really well. Sometimes you might want to put an external area onto your floor plan. Now this is a bit random. I've never seen one on a Victorian mid-terrace before, but perhaps we've got a balcony with some double doors coming off this bedroom. But if you want to put a balcony or a sun deck or a sun terrace, a roof garden, whatever, create it as a room. So we'll still create it in this area here, like so. Let's put about the right size for my balcony, and we choose this option halfway down. You can see we've got a balcony type of room, and under there we've got balcony, roof garden, sun deck, whatever. Balcony works, so we'll keep it at that, and okay. And that's how to make an external area. Just have some double doors that lead out onto it, like so. We had a fireplace on the ground floor. Sometimes you've got a chimney breast, you can use the rectangular block symbol and just pop that onto your wall there. And again, if we click on this, we can just sort of size this as we need to get it to the right sort of size. And remember your control and drag. Hold the control button down and drag your symbol to clone it. Remember the bay window. Again, work to the footprint of the floor below, so we can click on the wall in the same point, okay? And do the same with this one. Split it twice and drag the wall out to make your square bay and the angles in to make your angled bay. But what if it's a curved bay or a bow window? We can make a curved wall. So I've set the markers either side by splitting the wall each side. And now I just click on this section of wall and I've got the option to add a curve. If I choose this now, you'll see it's popped a curve onto that wall. Now that may not be deep enough, but we can left click and hold and just drag this out or in as we need to so it's the right size. And that's how easy it is to make a curve on the wall. And from there, we can just add the rest of our detail. We can pop a couple of doors. You remember I said about sort of saving the unfinished work? You might be sort of doing a floor plan and realize you've got an appointment to go to or want to come back to it later. Just click on this disk symbol. You can click it as often as you like. It just saves a backup version. Doesn't cost anything. It's just backing up your work as you go. I've clicked on that. It's now connected. We're drawing this live on the system. Plan saved successfully, so we can OK that message. We'll come back and you saw where the unfinished options were. You'd find the plan there and come back and open it up and continue working with it from there. So we can just pop a window onto the front of the bay there, like so. Drag that around a little bit further. That's fine. Just tidy up. I'm a little bit OCD at times, but just bear with me. That's looking good. I think we can pop a window on the back of the bathroom, and I think we're pretty much done, except for the last thing is just to add the stairs. We can go to our stairs symbol. Perhaps these go up, we've got a little turn at the top of the stairs, something like these. We can pop these onto our floor plan. You say, well, that's great, Pete, but I'm walking into the stairs when I get to the top of the stairs. But we can change that. We can just click on the symbol, and we've got the option with these types to flip them. So click flip, and they're facing the right way. And play around with the system, mess about with it. I mean, let's just put a set of, we've got a straight set of cut-off stairs here. If I click on these, I've put them off the plan just to work with them really, but we can just drag these round. And what you'll find is when we drag these, they snap together. So you can drag, snap different types of stairs together if you need to, okay? And again, you can come back to your add section. We can look perhaps putting a down arrow at the top of the stairs, line this one up here. And again, with that, we can click on the symbol and this little handle, we can just drag, as with any symbol, and rotate it round like so. And that's it. As I say, you'll go to whatever level of detail you want to. I mean, if you want to put the bathroom suite in there, you can do. It's entirely up to you. But that's pretty much it. There's my floor plan drawn in no time at all. And the floor area calculation has remained as well. I think that's covered everything on that point. We're now ready to complete our floor plan. So I've shown you how to save it as unfinished or work in progress. This tick box now is the one to tick when we're ready to complete the floor plan. And I'll run through this. There's a few tips here that are really useful to bear in mind. Firstly, we've got our text in our rooms, so bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bathroom. You may not be happy with the positioning, so we can left click and hold and move that text, reposition it to somewhere better. The bathroom text can come over here a little bit. You can see the hallway, there's no measurements on the hallway. There's no measurements on the landing either. If you wanted to add measurements on there, for say a particularly big hallway, you can click on that room and we can slide this across to show measurements like so. Okay, and it now displays the measurements. I'll turn that off. I don't want measurements on my landing there, so that's fine. We can OK that message. You remember I said you need to draw to the footprint of the floor below, rather than getting obsessed about each room being perfect. And I said this bedroom could have been 19 foot, did I say 19 foot 4 by 13 foot 9 or something? Whatever. We can click on this box, and it's here that we can tweak those measurements. So 19 foot 3, we can increase that to 19 foot 4. The length 13 foot 9 would increase that to 13 foot 10. It doesn't change my floor plan. It doesn't start making a mess of things and moving walls around. It just puts the right measurement into that particular room. Okay. We might want to add some text after this measurement. So I'm putting that on the length, which is not a good idea. We perhaps need to put this on the width, but we could perhaps say excluding bay. You get the idea. We can okay that. We could perhaps go on to the lounge, and perhaps the width is maximum and the length is into bay, whatever it might be. But you can put text after each of these measurements as well, so we can okay that message. You might want measurements on the balcony, so we can click on the balcony text and just turn off the measurements by this little slider bar here. And okay. So work with the rooms as you want to. If you want to, you can also increase the text. So the font size is 30. We can increase that. Can you see it increasing in the bedroom one as we go? I'm up to 40 now. You might prefer a 40 font, so you can apply that to all if you want to. And this will do it on that floor. And we do the same on the ground floor. Just do it by each floor. It won't do it on the whole floor plan, but apply to all. You sort of get the idea. So you can make it bigger or smaller as you need to. Okay. The word cupboard seems too big, so again we can perhaps sort of reduce this font down a little bit, step back to where we were, but just play around with the floor plan just so it looks as you'd like it to be. Okay, so there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. There's our floor plan created. We're now ready to get the finished version and complete it. We've got this total floor area calculation at the top here. This was the calculation you saw in real time. It's telling us it's 1,442 square feet. If you've perhaps picked it up from Plan Bank, you're not happy or totally happy with the way it's been drawn and exactly to the inch, you might want to not show the floor area, or you can enter a custom figure if you prefer. We'll leave this on there for now. If you want to put some text or wording onto your floor plan, you can do it there. I've never found a need to add anything. It comes with a disclaimer, as you'll see. One thing we can do, if you don't want measurements on your floor plan at all, you'd probably just click don't show the floor area and turn off the measurements here. That's for all the measurements on the floor plan completely. Just turn them all off there. Another thing we can do is to add color. So I slide this across and it puts our default colors onto our floor plan as well. Okay, and so that's it. That's it for this screen. We can now click next. And this just shows us the final layout of the floor plan. We can choose between landscape or portrait. Obviously landscape works a lot better, but here we can move floors around as well. So you may have taken on a little 2-bed dormer bungalow. So you'd have the 2 ground floor reception rooms, and perhaps the bedroom on the first floor sits between the 2. And if we'd only drawn this bedroom, that's where you sort of line it up like so, but we'll just move this back to where it was. We can drag our disclaimer up a little bit. We could perhaps position the compass rose at the top like so. And that's it. We're now ready to finish our floor plan. So we'll click finish. And there's the floor plan drawn. And we'll just wait for this to load up for a second. You see it's giving it a reference number now. And after a couple of seconds, it will appear down here. When it does, we're going to save the floor plan to our computer in the same way as you upload a photo from your camera and save it as a JPEG. We download the image from the Metropix website and save it as a JPEG. Don't worry if you look at this plan and think you've missed something and you need to make some changes. You can click open edit, go straight back in. Amendments aren't charged for, but we'll download the floor plan. So we'll click the download button. And there it appears at the bottom, 1 Aylesbury Road. So we can open this one up. And there's the floor plan that we've just drawn. So if we zoom in a little bit, you can see the compass rose with the arrow pointing to 7 o'clock. The bathroom text where we put it, we could have made that smaller, but you've seen how to do that. The floor plans come with color. It's also come with our Metropix logo through the floor plan. We can do the same with your company logo. So if you want to know more about branding, just contact the support team afterwards. You can see the lounge, you've got the text maximum and the bedroom one excluding bay, whatever it might be. If we zoom in further, we've got our disclaimer. Whilst every temp, blah, blah, blah. That's pretty watertight. Total floor area, 1,442 square feet. And if we zoom in on this bedroom, we've got bedroom 1 filling the screen now. And it's still pretty sharp. It's a bit pixelated and grainy, but if we zoom out to a point where that's clear, that is now, I've still got bedroom 1 completely filling the screen. So this floor plan on any website or sales particulars is going to be a really good high resolution image. And we've got the ground floor and first floor totals, floor area at the top there. So that's it. If I click my plans, next time I log into my Metropix account, my floor plan will be at the top of my list. It's the top, what is almost the most recent. And so when we log in, we can just click the view button, and then we just go in and make changes should we need to, or download it, okay? If you do have any questions, you can contact the support team. If you click contact us at the top there, there's an 01184 number you can dial. That will bring you straight through to the support team and speak to someone directly. You can email us to support@metropix.com. You can send us an inquiry. Perhaps you need help drawing a plan, or Pete mentioned something on the webinar, whatever. Your name, your company, your phone number, email address. Pete mentioned branding. Can you contact me about that? Or whatever it might be. Let's just go back to our plans. And that's it. That's how to draw a floor plan with Metropix. Thank you for your time. Hopefully it's been beneficial. As I say, any questions, just contact us, but I'm sure we'll meet again soon. Take care, everyone, and thank you for your time. Bye.